Hello, I'm Matteo, the Chief Mobile Opinionist here at Tech Travel Geeks. And this is the Tech Travel Geeks setup video for the iPhone 14 Pro. Yes, if you haven't already seen it, we've done the unboxing video of the iPhone 14 Pro. We've taken the device out of the box and we're now ready to set it up. First things first, I'm going to use the SIM ejector tool that was included with the device. That's very generous of Apple to carry on including these, and pop that SIM tray out. So the SIM tray comes out and your SIM card will go into the tray and go back into the device with the screen facing you and the contacts to the SIM tray in there. So pop that in and wait for it to click. There we go. That's it done. And it's now flush with the side of the device. And as you can see, my fingerprints are leaving fingerprints there already. Great. Let's have a look at what happens when we long press the power button on the right hand side of the iPhone 14 Pro. So we get the Apple logo and we get a hello. Now this is an AMOLED or OLED screen, and very specifically this is a Retina display or a Super Retina display, which is 1179 pixels at the bottom and 2556 pixels along the top. And as you can see, that there's what they call a dynamic island at the top. There's no more notch or static peninsula there, and we're ready to start our setup. So swipe up to begin. How are we going to set up this iPhone? Well, I think English is the language I'll choose, and it's suggesting we go with the United Kingdom. I'm good with that, that's where I live. And we have bring your current iPhone or iPad near this iPhone to sign in and set up. No, I want to go through the setup experience as if this were a new device and set it up as a new device. So first things first, I need to connect to my Wi-Fi. So there we are, we're connected. I can go forward with next. And then it says it may take a few minutes to activate your iPhone. Well, let's see how long it's unable to activate. This iPhone cannot be activated without an internet connection. You can try again or activate by connecting this iPhone to a Mac or PC. Great, let's try again then. It may take a few minutes to activate your iPhone. I did enter my Wi-Fi password, my SIM card has data. It's very odd that it's not there. It's saying that it's 8:41. Oh, now we're going through with it. Data and privacy. This icon appears when an Apple feature asks to use your personal information. Okay. Face ID. Let's set that up. Obviously not the camera. There we go. Do I want to use Face ID with a mask? Yeah, go ahead. Oh no, set up later in settings. We'll go ahead with that. So Face ID is set up. Great, great. Now I'll just set up a passcode. Okay then, so that's now been done. Choose how you want to transfer apps and data to this iPhone. I don't want to transfer any apps and data. I want to set it up as a new one. Now I'll go ahead and enter my Apple ID. Now I need to go and get the verification code. Okay then, so there we go. I've just confirmed my Apple ID. I sort of trust Apple because they're so siloed, my data can't get too far with them, so it's okay. But I don't trust them as much as Google, for example. So it may take a few minutes to set up your Apple ID. Great. First impressions of typing and the body of the iPhone 14 Pro is pretty positive. It feels quite nice. Obviously, I won't be using it without a case, as well as waiting Mocodile. There will be a few other videos we'll be doing about accessories for the iPhone 14 Pro. But for now, let's see how this setup goes. Make this your new iPhone. Here's everything set up as you had it on your other iPhone. No, I don't want that. I want to do, don't transfer apps and datas. Cool. I don't really want to use Apple Pay because I use Google Pay. Siri, I'll set that up later because I'm not a great fan of Siri. iPhone analytics, wait a minute, you just told me about privacy. Don't share that. Emergency SOS, okay. Welcome to iPhone. not the iPhone or your iPhone, just welcome to iPhone. Swipe up to get started. So here we go. We have essentially set up, use this iPhone when sharing your location. I'm currently using iPod to share my location. Okay, let's use this iPhone, see what happens. So here we are. We've got the iPhone 14 Pro. This is default. I haven't installed any apps, haven't pulled any apps from elsewhere. It is getting some of my data from my Apple ID. Let's see what the settings say. Finish setting up your iPhone. Finish setting up your iPhone. Get the most out of your iPhone with features like Apple ID, Face ID, and Siri. They really want you to set up these things. Set up later in wallet. Set up later. Great. So that's how you dismiss that thing, is you pretend you're going to do it and then dismiss it. And then until the next major operating system update, you won't get prompted to do that again. Great, so I've got my iPhone, it's set up like an Apple person. So what I'm going to do is, first things first, go into the Apple Store and get all the apps and services that I use the most. So, wait. Personalized ads in Apple apps, such as the App Store and Apple News, help you discover apps products. Wait, what was that they were saying about privacy? Okay, turn off personalized ads. Allow App Store to use your approximate location. I'll use it once. Great, here we are. So these are all apps that I have previously installed. Let's go to my profile. Okay, so purchased apps. So these are apps that I have previously installed. So Lidl Plus, German supermarket, I quite enjoy here in the UK. The National Grid ESO, yep, definitely need that. NordVPN, one of the VPNs I choose to use. Polycam, the LiDAR and 3D scanner app, quite fun for capturing Rodney in 3D. Adobe, yep, Adobe, yep. What else? Fast, the speed test app. Disney Plus, Microsoft Teams, TikTok. I am going to download MySky, but I'll log in later once I've swapped SIM cards around. Photoscan by Google Photos, Google Street View, Google Fit, Microsoft OneNote, Microsoft OneDrive, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Outlook, Google One. The Zhiyun Kami, really handy for my gimbal. Test Flight, I don't need that because I'm not currently testing any apps in pre-production phase. Bamboo HR, don't really need it at the moment. Don't need the Nest app. Zoom might come in handy. Clubhouse, remember that app? That didn't last long. Social Blade to check up on the tech travel geeks. Stats, definitely have that. Adobe Capture. Photoshop Camera Photo Effects. Photoshop Mix. Adobe Express. Adobe Premiere Rush for video. Creative Cloud. Google Chat. Google Duo. Google Meet. You can see I use quite a few apps on my iPhone. Couch to 5K. DJI Mimo. Zep, don't need that because I'm not using the Zep watch at the moment. Password Manager, don't need LastPass at the moment. Daily Horoscope, maybe not. Photoshop Express Photo Editor, Lightroom. I might use those earphones, but I won't use the app for now. MyBT, BT Wi-Fi for when I'm traveling. We don't currently have a Virgin Media account, so I won't need the Virgin Media apps. Another VPN, Surfshark VPN, another VPN of choice of mine. YouTube Music, definitely. I don't use ZenMate VPN anymore. Windscribe, I do. Zhiyun Play, I don't use that at the moment. Squarespace Analytics, definitely. Box for cloud storage. Dropbox. Amazon Drive, Amazon Fire TV, yes, all the Amazon apps, we love them. Netflix as well, IMDb, I'll skip the BBC apps for now. Zedge for wallpapers, definitely. All the Instagram creator tools, Reddit, YouTube Studio, Snapseed, Google Opinion Rewards, Gboard. That's actually one of the first things I should have done. Google News, Google Tasks, Google Keep, Google Slides, Google Assistant. Many of you will realize that at this point my phone is just about to become essentially a Google iPhone. Do I need WhatsApp? Probably not on the number that I'll be using on this device. Slack? Yes. I won't be installing the My Vodafone app. Game of War? No, won't be playing that. Telegram? Definitely. Speed test? Haha. Old defunct Skyscanner apps? Not going to be installing that. KLM? Yes. Because I will be using the iPhone 14 Pro whilst traveling. Wow, the old Skyscanner Hotels app. That's how far back I go with my App Store use. Tunnelbear, occasionally useful. Facebook Messenger, yeah. TripAdvisor. Look at all those Yahoo apps. Pocketcast, yes, that's my podcast app of choice. Google Translate, Google Sheets, Google Docs, Threes. What else? Google Home, Google Play Music that still has an app. There's quite a few apps here that I haven't used in a long, long time. Right, here we go. Amazon Photos, Amazon. BBC iPlayer. The Verge isn't even downloadable anymore. Amazon Music, yes. Google Maps. Do we want LinkedIn to be on my iPhone 14 Pro? I think I'll skip it. Tumblr still has some interesting content. Audible, definitely. Twitter, Instagram. Different Skyscanner app. Nah, not worth it. Google Drive, definitely. YouTube, definitely. Oh, the Hangouts app. Google Currents. Google Chrome, definitely need that. Gmail, definitely need that. Skype, I'll probably skip that. PayPal, might use that. BA app, I'll definitely be using that at some point over the next year. And I think that we're almost there. So we've got Bloomberg, Google, and oh yeah, we'll need Facebook as well. So I think we're done in terms of lining up all the apps I want to install on this iPhone 14 Pro. Now, as those apps carry on installing, there are probably some apps we can uninstall here. So starting off with the Apple Podcasts. So let's remove that app. We'll delete it because I'm not going to be using it. It's of no interest to me. Do I want Apple News? I'm going to remove that app. Gain some space and I won't be using it. Apple Health. I won't use that. Remove app, delete app. Gone. What else? I suppose I need the Photos app because I need that to be able to use Google Photos. Word of warning, if you're wanting to de-Apple your iPhone and use Google services, there are still some apps you need. I don't really need the Apple Books app because if I want to, I can install the Kindle app or just use the web. Apple Watch, I definitely won't be using that. Delete app. Delete. iMovie, GarageBand, Pages, Keynote. Well, I'm going to be using different service providers, so these can go, Pages can go, Keynote can go. This is a bit frustrating. It's not as bad as on, for example, some Android phones, but still there's a lot of apps that you probably won't need, and that it's probably a good thing to do to uninstall them as you get going. That frees up space and then you can choose the apps you want from the App Store. This doesn't actually do away with your iTunes account having those apps, so you can always re-download them if you do need them. But at the beginning, as you can see, I have a series of apps that I use that I'm comfortable with, and I use them as my apps of preference. So great, I've done the installation of the majority of the apps. Let's see if I can find Gboard. It seems, oh wait, that was it. It's been installed. Great. Let's set up Gboard. So this is Google's keyboard, which now works on the latest version of iOS. So we need to go to Keyboards, turn on Gboard, and allow full access. So Keyboards, English UK, emoji. Oh, here we go. So we've got Gboard, tap on that, allow full access. There we go. So that was not as straightforward as I was expecting, but we now have Gboard set up. So now we need to tap on the globe icon, that's the one at the bottom here. And that's us set up. So within here, I'm going to make some changes. I don't like glide typing. All the other setups are great, and I'm not going to enable haptic feedback. I know it's great that iOS 16 has that, but it's definitely not for me. Let's have a look at themes. So there's the default themes. I'm going to go for the dark one. I prefer the dark one. But then I could also have a gradient one, which is cool. So I've got everything. So that's borders around keys. Okay, that's all done. So for now, I've got Gboard installed and set up as the default keyboard. We're good to go. So in the meantime, other apps are installing. The other thing I'm going to do is probably get a few folders and move a few things around. So let's put the Messages app, that's the Apple one, the one with iMessage, on the home screen. I'm going to find, obviously, Google Chat and put that, oops. So I'm going to move Google Chat onto the main home screen, or the first one on the left, and pop that there, and then create a folder of apps. And they call this business, but I'm actually going to call this messaging. And the next thing I'm going to do is go and get Telegram and Messenger and just drag them into the same folder. There we go. There's Messenger. So I've got my messaging folder. I'm now going to put that in the dock at the bottom. Great, so that's one done. We'll put music and Safari at the top. Next up, we're going to get the social media apps in. So I'm going to create a folder with Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr. I'm sure there's TikTok somewhere. So I'm going to put this all in what Apple calls a photos and videos folder. I'm going to call it social. Great. And we're going to put that in the dock as well. Great, so that's the two main things that I use and the phone. And now that we've done that, I'll put the camera in the dock because that's one of the main reasons I purchased the iPhone 14 Pro. So, as all this has been going on, obviously it's been quite an intensive process in the background. The batteries, storage, and that Apple A16 Bionic chip have really been warming up the back of the phone. It's not a particularly warm day in my office in Scotland, but I am starting to feel a bit of warmth in my hand, which is likely the iPhone being put through its paces as we've been going through this video. It's been about 20 minutes, 23 minutes on the clock since we started recording this, and we've been really pushing it quite hard if it's getting this warm. Okay, so let's put music there. Let's put the Apple Music in the same folder and find YouTube Music and pop that in. Then I'm going to get the other few apps that are quite important to me, which are Pocket Casts, and I need to find Audible. Not in this one, here we go. And almost there, last one. So I put that there and call this one's called Books apparently. Well done, Apple. Rename. and we're going to call this audio. So great, we've done that. Next up, let's put our VPNs all into a folder. So I think I've got most of my apps and services set up here. Few things, let's try out that wonderful dynamic island. So we've been going through this, but how rude of me not to acknowledge the key feature or differentiator of the iPhone 14 Pro, which is that bit at the top that replaces the notch. So to do that, I'm going to have to sign into my Amazon Music account, which I need to find. Great. I'll just search for it. Here we go, Amazon Music. So I'll need to sign into my Amazon account. Okay then, so I am logged into my iPhone 14 Pro, and I'm going to authorize this device. Apparently this is the 8th of the 10 allowed devices that I have for this. We'll send you updates about news, music, podcasts, lives. Okay, that's fine. We trust Amazon. Yes, we allow them to send us notifications. So let's play some music, which I'm going to obviously put volume down so that we don't get a YouTube takedown. It's suggesting we play The Chorus, and I'm okay with that. So The Chorus, Jupiter Calling, Bulletproof Love is playing. I'm just going to swipe up, and as you can see at the top there, we have our dynamic island, and you can tap on it and it will take you straight to the music. So dynamic island is working for music. Another thing I've seen quite handy for is to set a timer. So let's go to clock. Great. Timer. I'm going to set a 32-minute timer. So that's happening. And you can see that's at the top there. So it reminds you that you have a timer. And you can quickly tap in and out. So how useful this is compared to, for example, having your multitasking, that will need to be proven with use. It's far too early. I've just set up the iPhone 14 Pro. But as time goes by, I'll get to grips with it, get it comfortable. I think the basics have been done. I've set up my iPhone. I've put my home screen and the most used apps at my fingertips. So we're good to go for now. What I'll do is obviously update you as we go. We'll be mentioning this on the Tech Travel Geeks podcast as we carry on living with the iPhone for the foreseeable future. If you don't already, please do subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks here on YouTube. Obviously, this is the setup video to the iPhone 14 Pro. If you're watching and you've made it this far, thank you for doing so. And tomorrow we'll be publishing a side-by-side comparison between the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 13 Pro, just so that you and I have an idea of what the hardware differences are, what the specification differences are, and if it's really worth the upgrade if you are considering upgrading from the iPhone 13 Pro to the 14 Pro. We'll also have accessories for this device, as well as our usual coverage of consumer electronics, gadgets, accessories, and pretty much anything we think makes the travel experience better. But I'll wrap up this video thanking you for having made it this far if you have done so. We'll be back with more soon, but for now, thanks for watching, and goodbye from me.